Hello everybody and welcome
back to my channel.
Today's video is going to be all about plants and my tips for a beginner to start their houseplant collection. I have a few and I only really got into like plants within the last few years. My first plant that I ever bought was a bonsai tree.
I want a bonsai tree. This is Bonnie. Look, you can see Bonnie's roots. And it's got many little...
That didn't last. It died straight away, which was kind of sad because I made this big investment. £10 was an investment back then. I didn't have money and I still don't, so yeah. And I didn't really realise that it was going to die.
But it did.
Rest in peace, Bonnie. I decided that after I killed her, I would try my best to
make things right.
And I have managed to keep all of my plants alive now for some of them for like at least a year, over a year. So I decided I'd make this video because I think it can be
not that obvious
when it comes to looking after plants, because I feel like so many people kill their plants and it's just really sad. Why should anyone have to go through that? I'm here to let you guys know how I've kept all of my plants alive. So I have these ones sitting here. This one kind of needs a water and it doesn't look that great because it has like a lot of like brown bits like dotted around. It had these when I first got the plant, so I don't think it was like something I did.
That's what I'm telling myself.
But it's like all the new leaves that are coming through look very healthy, so I think I'm doing a good job looking after him. So yay. This little guy, which is a cutting from this one, and I have this one which I haven't really figured out the best way to look after this one yet. It's kind of crusty and not looking the best. Also, my cat likes to eat my plants, which is so great. I'd never really considered that when I decided to get a cat, but yeah. I also have some plants hidden behind here which I'll show you later. Yeah, I've got my Monstera and I've got this one. I don't know the names of them really. This is my flytrap, aloe vera, cutting from my ivy, an orchid. So I got a cutting from my aloe vera. This was just a little guy poking through the bottom and I don't think he's doing very well. Like he keeps like, I started off with 3 different ones and they all ended up dying, so that didn't go too well, so I think that one's gonna die too. But I have this guy, which is like one of my oldest plants I got from Sainsbury's. And then I have my ivy plant, which is kind of like attached to my pictures now, so gonna leave her there. Okay, so that was my little tour, but this video is about keeping them alive because that was something I struggled with a lot with my first plant and it was really heartbreaking. First thing I'm going to suggest is putting your plant in the right conditions that they are going to thrive in, because that matters. Different types of plants have different needs. Some plants need more sunlight than others, some plants need more watering than others. It just depends on the type of plant that you have.
But
this should all be specified on like a plant care label, and if you don't have a plant care label then just look up the type of plant that you have online and it should say what the plant really needs. So for example, oh my god, this guy I just repotted. I kind of think I need to do a bit more with it because it's kind of still wiggly. I'm not going to try and pronounce the name because I know I can't, so I'll just put it down on the screen now. A lot of my plants are from IKEA, and when you get a plant from IKEA it should have this little sticker thing on it, so it shows you how much you need to water it, the temperature it's best at, and like how much direct sunlight it should be getting. So you just want to make sure that you follow these instructions and just look online and have a little gander. I've never really seen it when it needs to be watered because a lot of my plants will kind of droop. For example, this plant tends to like droop when it needs watering. I actually should water this soon because it looks a bit droopy. This guy doesn't really need a lot of direct sunlight at all and it needs watering quite a bit, so yeah. I'd recommend watering your plants like once a week and really make sure that you get the soil wet when you do it, but not too wet because you don't want the soil to stay moist, because then pests can become an issue for you. My cat just threw something off the counter. Make sure that the soil drains as well because you don't want to get waterlogged soil. Watering is just really important, and I think when I first started watering my plant I didn't really understand how much water it needed. I used to sometimes just spray it and think that that was watering it. It wasn't at all. And then I think I'd get like a little saucepan, just kind of tip some water on it. Also, I think the soil that I had didn't really take in the water as it should have, so maybe I should have repotted it, but I didn't and it died. So just make sure that you water your plants. But watering your plants also means that you're taking out the nutrients from the soil, so it's really important that you put those back into your plant every now and then, like every 2 weeks or something. I don't know, I have this plant food, I'll show it to you. I used to use some liquidy plant food things that I would just stick into my plant, but I think I'm gonna stop using these and start using these. This is plant food and it says it feeds up to 6 months, so I think it should be good. I'm not sure if it does exactly the same thing, so if you do know more about plants than me, let me know if this is good enough nutrients to my plants. But for now I think this is what I'm going to use until it looks like my plants maybe don't like it. So yes, make sure that you do that. Also, you can repot your soil with a good soil that matches the plants. For example, things like succulents, like my aloe vera here. It requires a different kind of soil than my other plants just because of how much water is retained and things like that. So I think my soil right now is like a mixture of sand and also I have this soil just for like succulents and things like that, which I will use for them. If you're repotting your plants, make sure that you get the soil that's right for your plant. You can make your own kind of mixtures of soils and all this stuff, but I just keep it simple. I bought some and I just use that. But another thing to be careful for is when you're using bought soil, I feel like mine may have like a slight infestation going on. I don't know, but I don't see any other way. I'm gonna go into this later on, but I had a pest issue with gnat flies and it was horrible, but I don't know how it happened. Like, I don't know how they got brought in. So I think maybe be careful with what kind of soil that you get. Inspect it, see if you can see any insects in it, and if you do, don't use it because it's not worth the hassle. Add back the nutrients that you're taking out by watering quite regularly, just so that your plants can stay healthy and thriving. If you're starting off new, you're not really going to have a mass of things to work with, and usually it's fine when the plants come in. It's fine, it's good, but to maintain the health of the plant, I'd recommend getting some new soil, just because, for example, this guy, he has been in the same soil for so long and it's just completely detached itself from the soil, which happens to quite a lot of my plants actually. It happened to this one and I still haven't repotted it too great, so I'll probably show you a clip of me repotting these because it needs to be done. It's literally just not attached anymore. Oh god. So these are the plants I'm going to be repotting, and this is the soil mix that I use for my succulents. And the first plant that I repotted was completely detached from the soil, like it didn't even have any roots really. So I just emptied out the old soil from the pot and then added in some of that new soil to the bottom, and then placed the plant back in, and then added the rest of the soil to make sure it was as secure as I could get it. I tried to push down the soil when I could and just really fill it up as much as I could. And then I gave it a water afterwards, and it is now secure and doesn't wobble anymore, which is great. Love that. And the next plant that I was repotting was just me adding some more soil to it because it was a bit loose and it was wiggling everywhere. So I just made sure to really press down the soil as much as I could, and yeah, that was it really. The last plant that I was repotting was this one, and it wasn't loose, so I got it out by gently squeezing the sides of the pot and then pulling it out. And as you can see, there was lots of roots, so it probably needs to be put in a bigger pot. But for the time being, I was just going to change the soil for it. So I added some new soil to the bottom of the pot and then placed the plant gently inside the pot again and added some more soil to it to just really fill it up, and tried to make sure it was secure so it wouldn't wobble. But since it already had the roots, it wasn't really gonna do that much. I just tried to put in as much soil as I could because as soon as I water the soil it just disappears into nothing, so I tried to fill it up as much as I could with what I had on my table. So yeah, that's me repotting it. Does need a bigger pot, but for the time being that's okay. And there's my cat, just chilling on my kitchen sink, not an issue or anything. at all. If you're having houseplants and you're looking to like look after them properly, keep them alive for a long time, maybe like invest in some soil. It's not that expensive, and it really, like, you can just buy like pre-made packs, but just be careful, like I said, because you can get pests and they're annoying. So like I was saying, pests are a thing, and I don't know if this is just me, but to me, I didn't really think that I would get pests in houseplants, because I didn't really realise that plants, I think maybe a really stupid thing to say, but I just wasn't expecting it. And then when I like was looking up like why there's so many flies around my plants, I figured it out. Also, I was going through the soil and I found like this little, oh, I don't even know what it was, but it was like this really like see-through worm kind of thing, and it was disgusting, and I freaked out, and then I was like, oh my god, no, and like poured all the soil out and just like went outside and repotted it because it was gross, and I don't know how they got in. I don't know if it was the soil, but yeah, like I had gnat flies, and that wasn't fun. There are different types of bugs that you can get in your plants. You can get, what is it, like spider something, and then like the gnats, which was what I had. They're gross. They are attracted to moist soil, so if you're keeping your soil wet all the time, then it's going to attract them more. It's going to be like a breeding ground for them. That's where they lay their eggs, I think. So make sure that you let your soil dry out and that you don't overwater your soil, because that can happen and it's disgusting. Read into it, read into different kind of pest issues that you can have with houseplants, because that wasn't something that I really even thought about. But to get rid of them, I got some yellow sticky like traps that I would stick into my plants, and it caught all the flies. I don't even think I have an issue anymore. There's like the odd fly every now and then, but I do keep the traps in just in case. And also I got this. I didn't really want to get something to spray into my plant. I tried using soapy water and I still had an issue, so I decided I would buy one of these. And I don't know if it did anything, because I know that the traps did the majority of the work. It caught all the flies for me, so I don't know if this like put them off like laying eggs in the soil or whatever, but don't know whether I should recommend it or not, because it's probably not the best thing to put into your plants. But I had to get rid of these flies, so I used it. Another thing that is really important is to make sure that you wipe your plants' leaves down regularly, because they can build up with dust. Obviously they're inside plants, so dust will settle on them, and the leaves can't do their job properly if they're covered with dust, because they're basically like solar panels for a plant. So making sure that they are dust free regularly is very important. It also helps prevent, like, if you had spider mites, I think it was, maybe I will correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it also prevents spider mites. So yeah. Now when you've had a plant for a while, they can start to look a bit not the greatest. This is my aloe vera plant, and it's kind of droopy in some places, and I had to repot this and push it further down. All my old leaves have been chewed up by my cat, which isn't a good thing, but it happened, so I had to get rid of him. I had to repot this and I pushed it further down so that it like hid all the ones like this. I also cut off a whole load of are these called leaves? What are they called? I'll call them leaves. I got off a whole load of the leaves and just like pushed it further in, so it just looked a bit cleaner. This one probably needs to get cut off, but the rest are kind of okay. As you can see, like some of them are just really short and stubby because they just kind of got eaten or broken off by my cat wandering past. But I think with lots of plants it takes some time just to understand how they like things to be. With this one, I've had it for so long, it is supposed to be a flower plant. Maybe it's just not in season, but as soon as I got it, all the flowers died, so clearly did something wrong. I don't know, it's still alive and there's still like new leaves forming on it, so I think it's okay. I just keep it and hope for the best, really. So the next thing I'm talking about is planting seeds, because that's a fun thing to do. I have two plants which I planted myself. This one just is so droopy. I don't know if it's meant to be, but it's just always been droopy ever since like it just first formed. I hope it's okay. And then this one, I have some rosemary in here, which is just like slowly growing. Planting seeds is really easy. Just make sure that you read the instructions of the seed packet. I've got relatively easy plants to grow anyway, so yeah. Okay, now I'm going to talk about taking cuttings from your plant. A couple of months ago I tried to do this and I was successful. This is a cutting that I took of my ivy plant. This one I took a cutting of ages ago and it stayed alive, but it didn't grow for such a long time, and I didn't root this plant. I just put the cutting straight into this soil and it just stayed like stagnant for a very long time, and ever since I've noticed it started to grow, it started growing really quite fast. This is one of its newest ones and it's like one of the biggest leaves it has, so that's quite exciting. And then here we have the little one coming through and then this one growing as well, which is just exciting to see something grow. So yeah, I have this, and then I have this guy. This is my aloe vera, my main aloe vera, wherever I put it. Yeah, it had some little babies growing from it in the summertime. I decided to take 3 of them and put them in a pot, and the other 2 have been and gone, they've died. And then this is the only one that is left. It has had 2 leaves off it die, so I don't think that this one's gonna survive much longer. It hasn't grown. I probably will need to look into it a bit more on how to, you know, look after this, how to actually make this work. But this is my tiny little aloe that's probably not gonna make it, so it's sad, but we can look after it while it's still here. I have this cutting that I took from, it's not a scientific name, but it's called a parlor palm, I think. And yeah, this is just a little cutting that I have of this guy. I think it's really cute. I have this cutting which I am trying to root. I hope it roots. I'll put it in some soil if it does. If it doesn't, then it's just dead. But I'm hoping this guy will root for me. This is the ivy plant that I took a cutting from, and if you can see, it's growing its roots finally. It's been rooting for like 2 weeks now, just in water, and yeah, it's growing and the roots are coming through, so very excited. Hopefully now your plants won't die and you'll be able to notice the signs of like them looking not so healthy and researching why that could be. Try not to overwater your plants, try not to underwater your plants. It's just finding that, and your plants will usually show you what they're feeling. Like a lot of my plants will show me if they need watering, if they're getting burnt by the sun, or if they're just not happy in general. So yes, that was my video and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful for some of you if you're wanting to start your plant collection. Thanks for watching the video. Like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see cool new videos, and that's it from me. Bye!